Edward Snowden says, War on whistleblowers. Trend shows a criminalization of journalism.
Here's a summary of the article.
Edward Snowden said the war on whistleblowers trend in the U.S. that expanded during former President Barack Obama's administration and continued under President Donald Trump is evidence of a growing criminalization of journalism. Snowden spoke about the freedom of the press during a video interview with Glenn Greenwald, one of the journalists who first helped Snowden expose information from the National Security Agency when Snowden took his first steps toward becoming an internationally recognized government whistleblower in 2013. The threats against the press go far beyond physical violence, Snowden said, pointing to the spike in attacks on journalists catalogued by the U.S. Press Freedom Tracker. Snowden serves on the board of directors of the Freedom of the Press Foundation, which oversees the tracker. Snowden referred to Assange's WikiLeaks work in 2010 as the greatest act of journalism that he ever did, and noted that Assange has been widely awarded for that work. Assange is an example of the way that the U.S. government tries to distinguish between traditional reporters who work for distinguished media outlets and journalists who find other methods to share information, Snowden said. Greenwald asked Snowden about his concerns regarding the incoming administration of President-elect Joe Biden, who was part of the Obama administration that Snowden said saw the escalation of the war on whistleblowers. Snowden said the freedom of the press will continue to decline until there is an actual policy shift.
This post received a score of 34,000, with an upvote ratio of 92%. Here are the top comments in response to this article.
There never was a time when countries were broadly in favor of internal whistleblowers. If this is a war, it's been going on for his entire lifetime. Any kind of contemporary praise for internal whistleblowers by a government has always been driven by political parties fighting. You burn Party A and Party B is thrilled. Other than that, whistleblowers have always had to look to external or retrospective praise.
Good point. Perhaps what one can instead extrapolate is that if the frequency of whistleblowing is increasing and in addition the sanctions that are imposed on them are hardening, then that is a sign of a society that has become more corrupted, a symptom of the status quo as it were.
Data is now a lot more available to all. Whistleblowing can be seen as treason. Doesn't get much harder than that since a long time.
Good bot. That last sentence is chilling. I could see this happening with MSM versus alt media.
Espionage Act as some crazy fascist bullshit.
I'm kinda stunned by the responses in this thread. Snowden revealed how horrifically unethical the government was acting, and all people can do is express their desire to punish Snowden for revealing that information. If Snowden came back to the US, what are the chances he won't be treated unfairly, if not downright inhumanely?
Also the incompetence of people making decisions on technical issues they didn't comprehend. And the danger of not just of data collection but retention in perpetuity owing to a massive leap in data storage capabilities.
Just remember that Turkey was pardoned instead of Edward.
This close to Thanksgiving too, let that sink in.
As does the president calling the news the enemy of the people.
I swear the US intelligence community has some bots in this thread or they are coordinating an astroturfing campaign. There is no way there could be this many people genuinely arguing that Snowden is a Russian FSB agent. The amount of comments I have read defending the NSA's warrantless, unconstitutional spying is unbelievable and really infuriating.
Edward Snowden is a patriot. Speaking truth is always the right thing, even when your spouse asks if they look good in something.
One of the most important things Snowden did was to bring data privacy into mainstream discussion. Unfortunately, our government is largely capital-driven, and money buys laws, so there has not been as much action on the issue as most people would like. That being said, I do a lot of work with U.S. government disclosures, looking at Congress stock trading, and lobbying, and such, and the demand for increased transparency made a lot of information publicly available that should have been publicly available long ago.
This video was automatically created by Reddit to speech. The article and comments in this video were selected from Reddit according to their upvotes, and any paraphrasing was performed by smmry.com, without any human intervention.